So when you go onto the top, just give me a second. It is not minimizing.
Please share the screen, sir.
I already shared the screen, right? You're not able to see the screen? Someone please confirm. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Unmuted.
Yes, we can.
Right. Fine. So look at this here. It's not minimize.
Hello.
Just give a minute. Just give a minute. Yes. So once you logged into the GoToMeeting, you'll find something like this. On the top, you will find something like this, GoToMeeting. When you click on this down button, you'll see edit your name and email ID. Go there, click on that. When I click on edit your name and email ID, it will open up a window where you can give your name, where you can give your email ID. Everyone, please give your name and register email ID here and just press OK. Do that first. So on the top, you will see GoToMeeting, click on down button where you can see like this, you can give the name and email ID. Just change your names and email IDs. I'm still seeing some junk names here.
Unmuted.
Do that.
Hello, Sunny.
Yes.
I logged in with web browser actually, so I cannot.
No, I'm able to see your name. No problem.
Okay.
I'm able to see. Yes, Sudhir. Yes.
Sunil, myself Nagaraj.
I'm able to see your name, Nagaraj.
Okay, thanks.
Sir, this is Amarnath Reddy.
Amarnath Reddy. Fine. It is fine.
Myself, Ashwini.
Fine. So I'm able to see most of the names. Only few members I'm not able to see the names. Someone just joined now. I'm not able to see. So here, just change it. Fine, guys. Let's continue the session.
It's Archan's name.
Right. I'm able to see Archan. Let's continue the session. In today's class, we'll start discussing about column transformations. We're discussing about column transformations. In the column transformations, we're discussing about column transformations. We are done with one class. Today is the second class. Let's continue from there. Fine.
This conference will now be recorded.
In today's class, we'll continue with column transformations. So in the last class, we discussed few column transformations. What are the column transformations in the last class? I discussed this. First, I discussed about remove columns, remove other columns, choose columns, go to columns. And then we discussed naming or renaming a column. And then reordering the columns I discussed. And then I discussed about column from examples. And then I discussed about add column or custom column. Till here I discussed, guys. Now let's continue from here. The next one is duplicating the column. Let's see what is this duplicate column, how to duplicate the column, why we need to duplicate the column. Let me open Power BI Desktop. Once after opening the Power BI desktop, you'll see a start screen or welcome screen, something like this. So just close this. How to open Power Query? Just go to Home tab, click on Transform Data, and let's bring some tables to discuss this column transformations. Click on New Source. I want to bring the tables from Excel. Click on Excel. So I shared Power Query material. In the Power Query material, you will find an Excel with the name column transformations. Just use that. Go to the column transformations, click on open. So select these three tables: column transformation, transpose, unpivot, and pivot. Press OK. So I have three tables here. The first row is not data. In this table, the first row is not data. It is header. I want to move it to the header. Product wise, salesperson wise, dealer wise, region wise. Some values are there, sales values. The first row is header. Click on use first row as header. Now I have a table called shipping address. So I will discuss one important thing today. So in interview, they'll ask you in Power Query, one important question in the interview is, they'll ask you one question like this: what is the difference between transform tab and add column tab? So in the transform tab, you have some options here. You have some options. In the add column tab, you have some options. So there will be some common options in the transform tab and add column tab. If you observe in the transform tab, whatever the options you are seeing here, in the transform tab, the same options you can even find in the add column tab also. When you go to the add column tab, the same options you can even find in the add column tab also. When I go to add column, look at this, same kind of options are available. This options is available in both the transform tab as well as add column tab. Then what is the difference? When I need to go and use add column tab options, when I need to go and use transform tab options is an important question in the interview, guys. So to answer it, so take an example. In the transform tab, format uppercase is there. Here also you have this option. In the transform tab, under format, you have uppercase. The same uppercase you can even find in the add column tab. When you go to add column tab, when you go to format, you will find uppercase here, right? Why the same option is there in both transform tab and add column tab? When I need to use transform tab options and when I need to use add column tab options is the question here. So for that, the answer is, look at this. So I have let me bring orders table also. Orders table I'm bringing, sample superstore. Let me bring an orders table. I'll select orders table, click on OK. When I press OK, orders table will come to Power Query. Fine, guys. Once the orders table is there in the Power Query, just wait. So I have a customer name column. I want to convert the customer name to uppercase. Whatever the text I have here, I need to convert it to the uppercase, and I want the result in the new column. So the transformed result I want in a new column. Whenever you want the result in the new column, you need to use the option in the add column tab. So whenever you need a transformed result in the new column, you need to use add column tab options. Just go to add column, and in the add column, I want to do the transformation on text data type column. When you want to do the transformation on text data type column, you can go to from text. When you want to do the transformation on number data type column, you can go to from number. When you want to do the transformation on date data type column, you can go to from date and time. From date and time. For now, I need to do the transformation on text data type column. I need to go to from text. This is the place where I need to check for the option. Okay, I need to convert the text to uppercase. Under format, you have uppercase. So when you click on the uppercase, this time, as you are doing the operation in add column tab, you'll get the transformed result in the new column. Whenever you use any option in the add column tab, you'll get the result in the new column. Look at this. Just click on format uppercase, guys. When you do that, you got the customer name in uppercase in the new column. I'm seeing customer name in uppercase in a new column. There are some cases where we want transformed results in the same column. Take an example. I have a customer name column. I want to convert the customer name to uppercase, but I need to see the result in the same column. When you want to convert the customer name to uppercase, when you want to see the results in the same column, you need to use the options in the transform tab. When you use the options in the transform tab, you will get the result in the same column. Let's see now. Go to the transform tab, go to the format, click on uppercase. When I click on uppercase this time, I can see the results in the same column. Look at this. Go to the format, click on uppercase. So customer name, you are seeing in uppercase on the same column. Right, like this, whenever you want the result in the same column, we need to use transform tab options. Whenever we need the results in the new column, we need to use add column tab options, guys. We need to use add column tab options. Fine. Now, tell me, guys, I have a year column. I have a year column. I have an order date column. I want to derive the year from the order date column. When you want to derive the year from the order date column, so when I want to derive the year from the order date column, and I want that year in the new column. So whenever you want to derive output in the new column, you need to use which options, guys? Add column tab options. Go to add column. I need to get the output from a date column. I need to transform the data on a date column. When you need to transform the data on a date column, where you need to go? From date and time. Just go to select the date column, go to from date and time, go to the date, click on year, guys. Click on year. Click on year. When you click on year, you'll get the year in the new column. Look at this. It got inserted the year, and you can see the year in the new column. Just wait, it is processing. Fine, it got inserted the year, and you got the year in the new column. Yes, perfect. So I have order date. I want to derive the year, but I want that year in the same column. So when you want the year in the same column, go to transform tab and go to the date and time. In the date and time, go to the date, click on the date, go to the year, click on year. When you click on year, the year will be derived in the same column. The year will be derived in the same column. Like this, any transformation, guys, whenever you want the result in the same column, you just need to go and use the transform tab options. Same way, so look at this, you got the year in the same column. I have sales column. I have sales column. I want to round the sales values. You have decimal places here. I want to round the sales values, and I want the result in the new column. When you want to round the sales values, when you want the result in the new column, where you need to perform the operation? Add column tab. Go to add column tab. Go to from number this time. I need to do the transformation on number data type column. It's a number data type column. If you want to transform, you will find the options here from number. I want to round. Go to the round and click on round here. I want to round my sales column to how many decimal places? I want to round my sales column to 2 decimal places. Sorry, guys. I want to round it to 0 decimal places. Just pass 0, press OK. This time, you'll get the output in the new column. As I'm doing the operation in the add column tab, it is rounding the sales values and it is giving the output in the new column. So there are some cases where we want the output in the same column. I want to round the values, but I want the output in the same column. Select the column, go to the transform tab, go to the from number section, rounding, click on round. So to how many decimal places you need to round? 0 decimal places. Press OK. It will round the number. It will give the output in the same column. So one of the important question in the interview, when to use the options in the transform tab and when to use the options in the add column tab. Keep in mind, whenever you want the output in the same column, when you want the output in the same column, what you need to do? Use any of the options in the transform tab. Whenever you want the output in the new column, in a new column, when you want output, use the options in the add column tab. Use the options in the add column tab, guys. Fine. So we understand when to use this. Now the requirement is something like this. I want to split the column. There is column transformations. There is a shipping address column. Shipping address column contains 3 columns in it. One is town. Second one is city. Third one is state. Take an example. So I want to keep this column as it is. I want to derive 3 new columns from this. I want to keep this column as it is. I want to derive 3 columns. One is town in a separate column. Second one is city in a separate column. Third one is state in a separate column. So when you want to keep this column as it is, when you want to derive 3 new columns from this, what you need to do, guys? When you want to derive 3 new columns from this, so whenever you want some output, this is the original column. From the original column, whenever you need the output in the new columns, where you need to go? You need to go to add column and you need to do the operation. Fine. Now I'll go to add column. I'll try to do my ETL. So when you go to add column, in the add column, you'll see here split column option. Whenever we need to split one column into multiple columns, you need to have a split column option. Unfortunately, in the add column tab, I don't find any option called split column. So whenever you need the output, whenever we need the output in the new columns, we need to go and check it in the add column tab. When I go and check it in the add column tab, I don't find any option with the name split column here. Look at this in transform tab. You have an option called split column. Split column will help us to split one column into 3 columns. So it can split one column into multiple columns. Split column will split one column into multiple columns. Now, so this option, unfortunately, it is not available in the add column tab. Look at this. Are you seeing in the add column tab? No. Now, when I go to the transform tab, when I go to split column, you want to split this column based on what? Based on comma. First comma, I need 1 column. After first comma and second comma, I need 1 column. After second comma, I need 1 column. So when you want to split the text based on comma means a delimiter. You need to go and click on by delimiter. Comma means a delimiter. By delimiter. I want to split the column by delimiter. Where I am doing it? Transform tab I am doing it. By delimiter. When I click on by delimiter, it will ask. It will automatically select based on which delimiter you need to split it. Based on which delimiter I need to split it is comma. And there is an option called each occurrence of the delimiter. So you need to select each occurrence of the delimiter. When you select leftmost delimiter, what it will do is from the left side, first comma, before that the text in 1 column. After the first comma, remaining text in another column. Remaining text in another column. So when you click on leftmost delimiter, the text before the comma in 1 column, first comma, after that in another column. So when you select rightmost delimiter, from the right side this time, from the right side, from this side, comma, first comma, this text in 1 column, remaining text in another column. In our case, that is not our requirement. Look at this. When I select leftmost delimiter, you will get only this in 1 column, remaining in another column. Just press OK. Look at this first, what output you are getting. So see, look at this. This is in one column, remaining in another column. I don't want the output like this. I don't want the output like this. I want for each comma one value. For each comma, when you need one value, go to split columns by delimiter, comma, you need to click on each occurrence of the delimiter, guys. Each comma, one column I need. When I select each occurrence of the delimiter, just press OK. Now, if you see, I'm getting the output. I'm getting town column, I'm getting city column, I'm getting state column. But you can rename them. Double click on it. You can rename it to town, and you can rename it to state, or you can rename it to town, city, and lastly state. Now, where is the original column? But actual requirement is I want to have even my original address column also. So I said that I want to keep this shipping address column as it is, and from using this I want to derive 3 columns. Column 1, town, city, and state. But unfortunately, as there is no split column option in the add column, I'm doing it in transform tab. When I do it in transform tab, original column will not be there. You will get the output in the same column, right? Now for that, what I can do is, I don't want like this. I want to keep even original column also. When you want to keep this original column also, what you can do is, there is an option called duplicate the column. Whenever you don't find some options in the add column tab, so what you can do is, first you can duplicate the column. In the add column tab, you have an option called duplicate the column. Select the original column, click on duplicate column. You'll get an exactly copy of that column. So select this, go to the add column, click on duplicate the column. So when you do any operation in the add column tab, you will get the result in the new column. Yes, perfect. So now I will leave this column as it is. I'll leave this shipping address column as it is, and I'll go and split this column now. I'll go and split this column. Go to the transform tab. Now I can go to split column by delimiter. Each comma, I want to split this column by comma. For each comma, I need one value. Just press OK. You got it. Now I have my original column as it is, and I got some 3 more columns here. The 3 more columns is town, city, and state. Just rename them. City and state. Whenever you don't find any option in the add column tab, when you find only in the transform tab, you can just duplicate the column. You'll get a duplicate copy of the column, and you can perform the operation on transform tab. Whenever you need to get a duplicate copy of the column, if there is any requirement where you need one duplicate copy of the column, you can just go and use duplicate column option, guys. Right, next one is split column. So whenever we need to split one column into the multiple columns, we can go and use split columns. There are some cases where we need to split the columns based on delimiter. Look at this. I have an orders table. In the orders table, I have order ID column. In the order ID column, before first hyphen, I want the text in one column. After second hyphen, after first hyphen and before second hyphen, I want in another column. After second hyphen, I want in another column. This time I want to split the column based on a delimiter. Delimiter what? Hyphen. When I want to split the column based on a delimiter hyphen, so I have this. I want the 3 columns in the new column. So I want to split the columns. I want the output in the new column. So when you want the output in the new column, unfortunately, there is no split column option in the add column tab. What you can do, you can go to add column. You can click on duplicate. You'll get exactly a duplicate copy of the column. And go to the duplicate copy of the column, transform tab, split column by what? I want to split the column by delimiter. When I click on delimiter, so there will be some default delimiters: colon, comma, equal sign, semicolon, space, tab. Only default delimiters are this. So this time hyphen is not there in this list. When a hyphen is not there in the list, so in the default delimiters, these are the mostly having delimiters. So I don't have hyphen under this list. When you don't have, you want to choose custom. I don't, if you want to split by comma, you can select comma. If you want to split by space, you can use space. But this time I don't find anything here. Not colon, not comma, not equal sign, semicolon, space, tab. It is a custom one. Click on custom. And what is that custom one? Hyphen. Hyphen. Just give a hyphen. What you want? When I click on leftmost delimiter, I said that from the left side, first hyphen before the text in one column, after that hyphen, all the text in another column. Look at this. When I select leftmost delimiter, when I press OK, from the left side, first comma, first hyphen, guys. From the left side, first hyphen, whatever the text is there, just wait, it is executing. So look at this. From the left side, first hyphen, what is the text you have in one column? Remaining text in another column, guys. Remaining text in another column. Remaining text in another column, right? Now the same way, let me remove these two steps. Remove these steps. So there is another option in the transform tab under split column by delimiter, custom delimiter hyphen. Automatically Power BI have the intelligence to detect that delimiter. It will detect it. So it have that intelligence. When I click on rightmost delimiter, from the right side, first hyphen, whatever the text you have in one column, remaining in another column. When this is your requirement, just press OK. Just press OK. Look at this. This time from the right side, whatever the text you have after first hyphen, you will get like this. So for each hyphen, if you want one column, you can click on by delimiter, each occurrence of the delimiter. Yes, this is our requirement you want. So there is a custom delimiter here in the column. I selected custom, I given the hyphen, each occurrence of the delimiter. Just press OK, guys. So for each hyphen, you will get one column. Look at this. So for each hyphen, you are getting one column. You can rename the columns however you want. There are some times where we want to split the column based on number of characters. Based on number of characters. Take an example. Let me bring another table here. People's table. Let me bring in another table called people's table. Let me bring one table, people's table also. It is taking time. Let me cancel this, guys. New source, Excel, click on desktop, desktop backup, source files, click on open. There is one table called people's table. I'll bring the data from the people's table. Select the people's table, press OK. Now let's take an example in the people's table. Click on use first choice header. So each region have one salesperson, and let's assume there is a column called mobile number column. Mobile number column is also there. Let me add the column. Click on custom column. I want to add one mobile number 919989027424. How they are storing that is I want the complete number here. If you want the complete number, give the proper data type here, guys. So for now, let's give, sorry, I selected percentage or something, I think. Just select a number data type here. So it is not showing the complete number. So, but when you have a bigger number, it will show like this. No worries. So or else change the data type. If you want to see the complete number for now, change the data type to the text. So I have a mobile number column. In this mobile number column, I have country code and I have mobile number. The requirement is I want to get the country code in the column 1 and I want to get the mobile number in the column 2. Column 2. I want to split this time one column into the multiple columns, but there is no delimiter this time. Do you want to split it based on any delimiter? I don't have any delimiter here. I want to split it based on number of characters. First 2 characters is my country code. I want in one column. Remaining characters is the mobile number. I want in another column. So whenever you need to split one column based on the number of characters, so just go here. There is a split column by number of characters. I want to split the text by number of characters. This time, based on how many number of characters? 2 characters. I want to split the column based on 2 characters. So I want first 2 characters in one column, remaining all the characters in another column. For that, what you can do? Can we go with repeatedly? When you go with repeatedly, for every 2 columns, it will give one separate column. I don't want repeatedly. So I want to go with once as far as left as possible. When you click on once as far as left as possible, from the left side, 2 characters in one column. From the left side, 2 characters in one column. And remaining all other characters in another column. Remaining all other characters in another column. Whenever you have a requirement, something like this, you need to go with number of characters. You can, so mostly we will split the column based on either a delimiter or number of characters, guys. So in the real time, we'll mostly split the columns based on a delimiter or number of characters. Based on a delimiter or number of characters, we'll split the columns, guys. The next one is merge columns. Sometimes you need to combine the columns, multiple columns into one column. So split column will split one column into multiple columns. We'll split one column into multiple columns. When you want to do in a reverse way, so I want to combine multiple columns into one column, you can go with merge columns. Merge columns will combine multiple columns into one column. Merge columns will combine multiple columns into one column. Whenever you have a requirement where we need to combine multiple columns into one column, you can go with merge column. So in the same table, let's do it in a reverse way. I need to combine this town, city, and state into one column, guys. I need to combine this town, city, and state into one column. Select the town column, city column, and state column. So in which order you want to combine? First, if you want town, select the town. Then you want city, select the city. Select the control button, select the order. Order is important here. Let's assume first I want state column, and then I want city, comma, and then I want town. So then what you need to do? First select the state, then city, then town. Or else first if you want city, then state, then town, you can select it. Look at this. Now I am selecting city first, then state, then town. So just to show you. So first I want city, then state, then town. I selected in the same order. Once you select, I want to combine the 3 columns into one column. I want the result in the new column. I don't want to disturb my existing columns. I want to get the result in the new column. Whenever you need to get the result in the new column, where you need to do it, guys? Add column tab. Just go to add column tab, click on merge columns. So in the transform tab also you have merge columns. Look at this. In the transform tab also you have merge columns. So when I go to here, you will not see these original columns. You will see the result in the same place. You will not see the original columns. The result you will see in the same place. But I don't want the result in the same place. I want in the new column. Go to add column, click on merge columns. What is the separator you want? So you can go and choose the separator. Separator I want is, so there are some default separators like colon, comma, equal sign, semicolon, separator, tab, space, tab, or custom. Let's assume if you don't like any one of this separator, you can go and click on custom. And what is the separator you want, you can give. Now look at this, I'm giving at the rate just for, and you can give the new column name. What is the new column name? Address. I'm just giving the new column name as address. When I press OK, look at this. You'll get a separator. First I selected what here? City. You're getting city first. And then I selected state. I'm getting state. And then I selected town. I got town here. In which order you selected? And I selected a custom delimiter at the rate. You got it. Like this, whenever we need to combine multiple columns. So I want city, I want town, city, state. In this order, I want them in the new column. I can go to add column, click on merge column. I want a separator as comma. And the new column name is address. Just press OK. We'll get a new column. Now I selected town first, and then city, and then state. You got in the same order, and you got a delimiter called comma here, right? Fine, guys. This is merge columns. The next one is pivot, unpivot, transpose. So these are some important options. So unpivot columns is important. So we will see what is this pivot, what is this unpivot, what is this transpose. We'll discuss it. Now let me go to orders tables. Let me remove these steps for now. Fine, guys. I removed some steps here. Let me show you. I load this table, and first I'll explain what is pivot and what is unpivot. What is pivot and what is unpivot, I'll explain now. Just wait, I'll talk about what is pivot and what is unpivot. Let them load. Fine, guys. So now let me explain what is pivot and what is unpivot. So I have an orders table. I want to show category wise, year wise sales. Using the orders table, I want to show category wise, year wise sales. How can you show category wise, year wise sales? You can go to the orders table, you can drag the category column, and you can go to the order date. When you expand it, you'll find year, drag the year, category wise, year wise. What I want sales. So I'll do some basic formatting here. Grid, I'm doing some basic formatting. Right, when you show the data something like this, we call it as table format. This is our unpivot format or table format, guys. This we can just call it as, look, when you show something, I'm showing category wise, year wise sales. I have 3 categories totally, category 1, category 2 and category 4, and I have 4 years data. 3 into 4, 12 rows, you got it. When you show the data something like this, we call it as table format data, or the data is in the unpivot format, unpivot format or table format. The same results I can show in other way also. The same results, category wise, year wise sales, I can even show in other way where people can understand easily. The other way is, let me show you here. I'm taking matrix visual. Other way, how can I show it is, I'm taking one matrix visual here. Let me show how can I show it. So first I'll drag category column to the rows and year column to the columns and sales column to the values. The same data, there is no difference, guys. Here and there, the data I'm showing is no way different. Both are same data. Here also category wise, year wise sales. Here also category wise, year wise sales values. Only difference is, here you are showing the data in 12 rows. Here you are showing the data in only 3 rows. 3 rows you are showing the data. When you show the data in the less number of rows, people can read the data easily. Where you can read the values easily? When I have less number of rows, reading the values is easy. When I have less number of rows, reading the values is easy, guys. Reading the values is easy. So here I just have less number of rows. I can read the values easily here, right? Now, when you show some data like this, same values, every year sales value are showing in only one column. But here 2014 sales values in one column, 15 sales values in another column, 16 sales values in another column, 17 sales values in another column. When it shows data something like this, we call it as pivot format. Pivot format. So when you show the data in the pivot format, people can read the data easily. Okay. So, but end output is same, guys. Technology 2017, what is the sales? When you want to know technology 2017, what is the sales? I want to check for that combination in 12 rows. Where is technology? Where is 2017? What is the sales? But here You can check for that combination in only 3 rows. Technology, 2017, the sales value. But at the end, these two values are same. These two values are same. So this is pivot format and this is unpivot format or table format. Table format. Now there are some times when client provided the data to you, they will provide in the pivot format. Look at this. There is a table client provided to me, unpivot and pivot table. If you look at this, this table contains product wise, salesperson wise, dealer wise, region wise, year wise sales. 2009 year sales in one column, 10 year sales in another column, 11 year sales in another column, 12 year sales in another column, 13 year sales in another column, like this. When you have the values in different columns, we call it is which format, guys? It is pivot format. Sometimes clients will give the data in the pivot format, and when they give the data in the pivot format, so they will ask you to perform some analysis like this. So they are asking to show what is the total sales amount you are getting. What is the total sales amount you are getting? So here I don't have all the sales values in one column. I have the sales values in multiple columns. If you have one column called sales, if you have all the values under one column, if I want to show total sales, I can take one visual, I can drag that column, I can show total sales. Unfortunately, the sales values are there in many columns, but they want what is the total sales. This time to show it, it is very difficult, guys. Look at this in the orders table. If you see orders table, I have a sales column, but this sales column will contains all the 4-year sales. So this sales column will contains what the sales column will contains what is the 14 sales, what is the 15 sales, and what is the 16 sales, 14, 15, 16 sales, and what is the 17 sales. Every year sales is there under one column itself. Then if you want to show total sales, simple for me. If I want to show total sales here, I can take one card visual. So I can go to the orders table, I can drag the sales column, it will show complete sales. Why? Because all the sales values are there in one column. It is simple for us. There are some cases where clients will provide one table which contains sales columns in different columns. 2009 sales in one column, 10 column, 11. When you got the table something like this, doing the transformations is difficult, guys. So when I want to show complete sales, it is difficult. Whenever client provided the pivot table, this kind of tables, you call it as pivot table. Whenever they provide the pivot table, when they're asking to perform some analysis, so performing analysis on pivot table is difficult. So they just given the table like this. They're asking to create two visuals. One is show me what is the total sales and show me what is the year-wise sales. Year-wise sales. Tell me how to show total sales and year-wise sales. So previously using orders table, if you want to show total sales, you drag the sales column. If you want to show year-wise sales, you drag the year column and you drag the sales column. To show year-wise sales, I drag the year column, I drag the sales column, I am able to show it. But tell me, using this table also, I need total sales and year-wise sales. How to show it? It is difficult, guys. Using this table, if you want to show total sales, it is difficult. Using this table, if you want to show year-wise sales, it is difficult. So whenever there are some cases, tomorrow when you join in the company as a Power BI developer, when client is providing the Excel files, data in the Excel files, they will provide the data in the pivot format, guys. So when client is providing the data in the Excel file, sometimes you will get the data in the pivot format. So when you bring the data into the pivot format here, when you load it, performing the analysis on pivot tables is not easy. First, what you need to do is you need to bring the tables into the Power Query. You need to unpivot them. And then you need to load it. And then you can easily perform the analysis. Whenever client provided the data in the pivot format, don't load as it is. First, convert them into unpivot and load it. Look at this. You need to, so sometimes client will provide the data like this. You need to convert this data into this format. So now what you need to do is you need to bring all the years into one column. You need to bring all the sales values into another column. Then for any tools, performing analysis is easy. You need to convert the data from this format to this format. So for that, what you need to do is in Power Query, there is an option called unpivot. You can use unpivot option, guys. Look at this. Let me go to Power Query this time. Click on transform data. There is a pivot table for me. So I want to perform some analysis on this table. When I load the table as it is very difficult to perform analysis. I need to convert this to unpivot. What I need to do is I need to bring all the years to one column. I need to bring all the sales values under one column. All the years under one column, all the sales values under one column. To do that, what I can do is I can select the columns, Control Shift. I can select the columns, all the year columns I can select. So whatever the columns, whatever the years you have in the columns, you want to bring into the rows. All the years I want to bring into the rows into one column. Select Control Shift, select all the years, and in the Transform tab, you will find an option called Unpivot Columns. Look at this. There is an option called Unpivot Columns. When I go here, there is an option called Unpivot Columns. You need to click on Unpivot the columns, or else right click on it. You need to click on Unpivot the columns. Unpivot the columns. When I click on Unpivot the columns, look at this. You got year, all the years in one column. You got all the sales in one column. Previously, the format is something like this. Control all. Detect the data type. Okay, fine guys. Look at this. So previously the data is something like this. How many rows you have? 30 rows. Each year have 30 sales values. Each year have 30 sales values. Total how many years I have is 8 years I have. Starting from 2019, so 2009 till 2016. Starting from 2009 till 2016, totally 8 years I have. And each year how many sales values you have? 30 sales values. So 30 rows you have. So when you are in the pivot format, the number of rows will be less. When you convert this pivot table into the table format, when you convert the pivot format to the table format, the number of rows will increase. Look at this. In this example itself, when it is in the pivot format, only 3 rows. When it is in the table format, 12 rows. When you try to convert the pivot format data to the table format, the number of rows will increase. It will come to 12 here. The same way, when I try to unpivot this, I want to bring all the years, 8 years into one column. I want to bring all the sales values into one column. Just bring the 8 years into one column and just bring all the sales values under one column. So when you bring 8 years and all the sales values under one column, 240 sales values you will get. The 30 rows will be converted to 240 rows, guys. Look at this. You want to just select the columns, Control Shift, or you can even right click on it. You will click on Unpivot the columns. When I click on Unpivot the columns, so you can rename it. This is year column. Just click on it, year. You got all the years, 8 years under one column itself, 2019 to 16. And this is sales column. How many sales values you got? 240 sales values you got. Just rename it to sales. Now it is very simple for a tool to perform analysis. If you want total sales, you can drag this column. If you want year-wise sales, you can drag these 2 columns. You can easily show it now. Click on Close and Apply. When I click on Close and Apply, so when I go here, this time it is easy to perform the analysis on this table. If you want to show total sales, I can go to the Unpivot and Pivot table. I can just drag the sales column. 13 million is the total sales. It is easy for me. And if you want to show year-wise sales, I can take one table visual. I can drag the year column. I can drag the sales column. Right? Just drag the year column. Just drag the sales column. Look this. You got it. You got it easily. Right? When there are some cases when client provided the data in the pivot format, don't load as it is. Sometimes client will provide the data in the pivot format like this. So don't load it as it is. Performing analysis is difficult. And convert them to unpivot, convert it to table format or unpivot format. Then load it. Performing analysis is easy. This is unpivot, guys. The next one is pivot, reverse. So there is pivot column. There is an option called pivot column. Unpivot columns we seen. In unpivot columns, what we will do? In unpivot columns, we will convert columns to rows. Whatever you have in columns, previously years are there in the columns. You brought that years to where? Rows. Unpivot columns are nothing but converting the columns to rows. If you want to convert pivot format data to table format, you will use unpivot columns. Unpivot columns, when we will use, whenever we need to convert pivot format data to table format, we can use it. And when you unpivot the columns, the number of rows will increase or decrease. Obviously, number of rows will increase. Number of rows will increase. There is an option called pivot column. Pivot column. So when you need to go with pivot column is, so whenever you have the data in the table format, the data is there in the unpivot format or table format. I want to convert this table format data to the pivot format. I want to convert table format data to the pivot for some reasons. So this we will use rarely, but we will convert pivot to table majority of the cases. Very rarely we will use table format to pivot format. Whenever you need to convert table format to pivot format, you can go and use a pivot column, guys. Take an example. There is 8 years. Years are there in the rows. Whatever the years I have in the rows, I want to take each year to a column. I want to take each year to a column. So for that, what you can do is select the year column, go to the transform tab. There is an option called pivot column. Previously, I used unpivot columns. This time I need to use what? Pivot column. So pivot column will convert rows to columns. Now years are there in the rows. If you want to take years to the columns, you can just click on pivot column. Click on pivot column. Let's come to end. Let's come to end. I don't want to add any step in the middle. I want in the end. Select the year column. Click on pivot column. I want to send year to the columns. Okay, you want to send years to the columns. 2009 I will send to a new column. 10 I will send to a new column. Under the 2009 column, what values you want? Under the 2010 column, what values you want? You want to select. In the values column, what you want? So go here. I want sales values. Sales values. Under that column, I want sales values, guys. When I click on sales values, press OK. Look at this. It is back to 30 rows now. Each year is going to a new column and you are getting the sales values. Okay? Whenever you need to convert, so pivot column option will convert rows to columns. Whatever you have in the rows, it will bring to columns. Whenever you need to convert table format data to pivot format, so whenever you need to convert table format data to the pivot format, you can use pivot column option, guys. When you use pivot column option, number of rows will reduce or increase. The number of rows will reduce, guys. The number of rows will reduce. There is an option called transpose. Transpose will do both of them at the same time, guys. Now here in the pivot, you are taking rows to columns. In the unpivot, you are bringing columns to rows. Either one you are doing, but in the transpose, it will take rows to columns, and as usual, it will bring columns to rows. Both it will do. It will take rows to columns as well as columns to rows. So look at this, how it will do. There is a table called transpose table. Currently, I have years in the columns. Years in the columns. I have regions in the rows. But what I need to do is, I want to take regions to the columns. I want to take years to the rows. So one thing keep in mind, guys. So you might ask me, do we use all these options in the real time? So Power Query contains hundreds and thousands of transformations. Do we use all the options means hardly we'll use some 20 to 30 options repeatedly. So this transpose, 99% of the cases we don't use, but we don't know what kind of requirements client will have. Tomorrow when you go and join in one company as a Power BI developer, so we don't know what kind of requirement the client will have. Might be in that 1%, might be I need to use that requirement in my project. That time you need to know it. This kind of options, very rarely we will use it, but we don't know. In our project, we might need to use that option. So, but just understand what each option will do. But tomorrow when you are working in the projects, we don't use each and every option. Hardly we will use 20 to 30 options repeatedly. There are some options, 20 to 30 options, which we use repeatedly. Like filtering the rows, 100% we use. Removing the columns, 100% we will use. Like this, there will be some options, 20 to 30 options, which we use repeatedly. But there are some options which we use very rarely. But we need to aware of that. Might be there is a project where we need to use that. Fine, guys. Let's continue. Now I need to bring the years to rows. Whatever years I have in the columns, I need to bring that years, 2009 year into one row, 2010 year into one row, 2011 year into one row. Like this, each years I want to bring it to the rows. At the same time, I want to take regions to columns. East region into one column, west region into another column, north region into another column. So this time the requirement is, I have a table like this. I want to convert this table exactly like this. For this, what I'm doing is, I want to take regions to columns. I want to bring years to rows. So whenever you need to show both of them, you need to use an option called transpose, guys. Transpose will do both of them at a time. Just select the table. So, and there is an option called, in the transform tab, there is an option called transpose. When I click on transpose, look at this. Now it is taking regions to columns. Perfect. Where is the years? Years are missing. Look at this. Years are missing. This year 2009, 10, 11. So years are missing, but regions are going to the columns. So there is a small gap in this transpose option, guys. There is a small gap in the transpose option. What you need to do is, before you click on transpose, you need to bring the header to the first row. You need to bring the header to the first row. How can I bring the header to the first row? To bring the header to the first row, in the home tab, you have an option called use header as first row. In the home tab, you have an option called use header as first row. Use first row as header. That means first row will move to header. Second one is use header as first row. That means header will come to first row. Just demote the header first. Demote the header. If you want to demote the header, go to the home tab, click on use header as first row. Look at this, header came to the first row. And once header came to the first row, click on transpose now. Click on transpose now. When I click on transpose, now I got the years perfectly. Now I got the regions in the columns perfectly. Now only thing you need to do is, you need to promote the headers, first row to header. Just go to the home, click on use first row as header. Now perfectly I got interchanged. Previously years are there in the columns and regions are there in the rows previously. Now I got interchanged them. When you are seeing here, years are there in the columns, regions are there in the rows. Now years are there in the rows and regions are there in the columns. Whenever we need to interchange something, you can go and use transpose option, guys. The next one is replace values. Replace values. Let me show you. I'll bring EMP table, click on Excel. To explain that replace values, I'll bring EMP table. I'll bring EMP table, click on OK. Click on OK. Once you bring the EMP table, I want to add salary column and commission column together. And I want to get a total salary, guys. I want to derive a new column called total salary column. In the total salary, I want to sum salary plus commission. Salary is 2450, commission is nothing. I want to show 2450. For this row, salary is 1600, commission is 300. I want to show 1900. So using these two columns, I want to derive one new column called total salary. I want the output in the new column. Whenever you need the output in the new column, where you need to perform the operation? No doubt, add column tab. Just go to add column tab. Select these two columns. I want to add these two columns. I want to perform the operation on number columns. When you want to perform the operation on number column, where you need to check for the option? From number section. Just go to add column, standard, click on add. Add will add the two columns, guys. When I click on add, it is getting 2450 plus null equal to null. So any arithmetic operation with null, in some softwares, when you perform any arithmetic operation with null value, the result will be null value, guys. The result will be what? Null value. So that is what happening here. In Power Query, when you perform any arithmetic operation with null, you'll get null value. But I don't want null value here. 2450 plus nothing is 2450. I want it here. So for that, what you need to do is, null means 0, nothing commission, no commission. So I want to replace wherever the null values are there. I want to replace with 0. So then 2450 plus 0, you'll get 2450. 5000 plus 0, you'll get 5000. So here you are getting correctly. 1600 plus 300, 1900, you are getting correctly. Any arithmetic operation when you perform with null, you will get null. So whenever you need to replace some values with some other values, select this column, go to the home tab. You have an option called replace values. There is an option called replace values. You can replace one value with another value. I want to replace null values with 0. Select the column, click on replace values. Wherever the null values are there, just replace with 0. Just press OK. When you press OK, the null values got replaced with 0. Then the question is, when I go here, when I click on replace values, whenever I select null here, whenever I press 0 here, there is no doubt wherever the null values are there, it will be replaced with 0. As soon as it got replaced with 0, will you see this as null or will you see this as 2450? The question is, as soon as I press OK, it will replace wherever the null values are there, it will replace with 0. There is no doubt in it. So as soon as it got replaced with 0, this will change, this will remains null or it will change to 1300. It will change to 1300. So it will remains null or it will change to 1300. Someone tell me. As soon as I press OK, there is no doubt the null value will replace with 0.
Will be
As
null.
soon as it got replaced with 0, will it remains null value or will it change to 2450?
It will be null, I think, that null value, because it was
So it
performed
will be
earlier.
null. Correct. It will be null. So why it will be null means still it is null. Why 2450 plus 0 should be 2450, right? Why it is null? So all the ETL steps will be executed in the sequential order. So first it is performing addition and then it is replacing the values. So keep in mind one step, all the ETL steps will be executed in the sequential order. First this step will be executed and then this step will be executed. When they are executing this step, that time I have only null value here, 2450 plus null value, you will get null value. So now once you replace, now go and select these two columns, go to add column, standard, click on add. This time you will get expected result. Expected results. That means before you perform addition, you want to replace these values. So you no need to remove the steps, you no need to perform it. You can move the step one step forward. How can you move the step one step forward? Right click on it. There is an option called move before. Move before. Now tell me, will you see the null value or will you see the result now? You will see the result now. You will see the result now. Why? Because we already replaced the values and then we are doing addition. This time I can see the results. Fine guys. Replaced values. Whenever you need to replace one value with another value, you can go with replaced values. So take an example. I want to filter the data wherever null values are there. There is a manager column. I want to load. So totally 15 employees are there, but into Power Pivot, I want to load only the employees whose manager number is not null. So whenever null is there, I don't want to load into the Power Pivot. I want to filter. So there is one employee who have manager as null. Just take an example. I don't want to load this employee. I want to write the filter condition on null. I don't want to load the employees whose managers are null. When I want to load only the employees who have manager number. So for that, you can click on this down button and there is an option called remove empty. So remove, whenever you need to write the filter condition on null values, I don't want to load null values. When you don't want to load null values, you can just click on remove empty, guys. When I just click on remove empty, so wherever null values are there, manager is not null. It will load only the managers whose values are not null. Not null. Whenever we need to write any conditions on not null values, you can even write with this option, guys. You can even write with this option, or else you can directly go here. Number filters does not equals to, you can write null here. Number filters does not equals to null. So you can even get it. You can even get like this, or else there is an option here, remove empty, which will filter the null values in the column. Right? These are the different inbuilt column transformations you have. Anybody have any questions?
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Before we go with the questions, what I'll do is, one second, I'll share one video with the name. Today I'll share one extra video with you. That video will contains row transformations. Let me show you. Power BI material, Power Query. So now once after this class, you'll get one extra video. That video will explain about this row transformations, inbuilt row transformations. Please go through that video and try to understand what are the inbuilt row transformations you have. In that video, we explain about every option. Please go through that and try to understand this. Let me publish the notes first, and then we'll take the questions. Yes, fine. You can go with the questions parallelly. No problem.
Sir, in this Power Pivot table, how you made the change from from that rows column to column in that
I
page
don't
one?
make the change in Power Pivot. I made the change in Power Query.
Right. If you could show it once.
So in Power Query, how I change it? You are asking?
Yes.
What
Yes.
you are fine. So first, I have a table. We'll do one thing. I'll even share today's class video also. Please go through it. I'll even share today's class video also along with this
Thank
video. Along with this video, row transformations video. Today's class video also I'll share it. Please go through it. You can find it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, so I have a question not related to today's class.
Tell me, please.
What are the topics we cover in SQL? Can you please?
SQL, a complete SQL part is required, starting from select classes, joins, subqueries, functions, constraints, views. So complete select part is required. Complete selector. Sorry guys, complete SQL part is required. T-SQL is not required. Programming, functions, procedures, triggers, you don't need that part. SQL part is mandatory. You need to know about constraints. Why? Because so we need to know what is primary key, what is foreign key, what it contains. You need to know joins, you need to know functions, you need to know select classes, you need to know functions. So that means almost SQL part is required, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Let me save the report. Desktop. I'll give the report name as column transformations class 2. Column transformations class 2. You will get the video also, guys. Whatever I discussed today, you will get the video also. Let me publish it. Click on publish. Just click on publish. Just 1 second. 1 second. System is not responding. So I will publish it to 7 a.m. May 2021 Power BI files. Click on select. Yes, someone is asking the question. Please go ahead.
Sir, after duplicating the column, can we delete the original column?
Yes, you can. After duplicating the column, can we delete the original column?
Yes.
Yes, you can delete it. You might get a duplicated column. Let's go here. Yes, you can delete it. No problem. Look at this.
Okay.
I have this column, order ID column. I can go to add column. I can click on duplicate this column. You got it. So you can go and delete the original column. Why? Because at the time of duplicating, you have that column already. I can right click on it. I can remove this column. So you can happily remove it. But before this duplicating the column step, if you try to go and remove it, it will not allow. It will not allow. Why? Because we use that column for duplicating this column. It will not allow. When I go here, tell me, when I go and right click on it, when I remove this column, it will remove, but this step will become invalid. This step will become invalid.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to do it. Someone is asking, if there is multiple delimiters, how can we split? You need to do it in 2 steps. First, split with one delimiter, and then go and split with another delimiter. You need to do it in 2 steps. Yes, tell me please.
What is replace errors in the right click?
We'll discuss one by one. See, look at this. Replace errors will be discussed in this built-in row transformations. When you go to the row transformations, there you have an option called replace. In this video you can find it. So carefully observe this video. You can find an option called replace errors. What is replace errors? When we will use it, you will find in this video.
So in desktop, we have a Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View, right? So in Power Pivot, we are doing the pivot and pivot in Power Query itself. So what we will do in Power Pivot?
You will get it. Wait.
Okay.
Any
So
data,
do we have
any data preparations will be doing in Power Query. For now, concentrate on Power Query. When we go to Power Pivot, what kind of work we will do in Power Pivot, you'll get it. In Power Pivot, we will do data modeling work. In Power Pivot, we will create some additional information what we required. You'll get it there.
Okay, we will have separate window for a Power Pivot also.
So have you not attended the introduction classes where we have each one? So that is the reason you need to go and listen to the old classes. Power Query will be there under Transform tab. Power Pivot will be Model View and Data View. Yes, Power Pivot have a separate place to do their work. That separate place is this Model View and Data View. So Power Query is something here. Power Pivot is something here. This Model View and Data View is the place where we'll do Power Pivot work. What work we will do, how we will do. At a high level, I already discussed in the introduction classes. When I start Power Pivot in a detailed way, I'll discuss.
Okay, got it.